Hi, I'm Arden Compton. I want to talk to you about some principles around forgiveness. At this point, we're going to focus on forgiving self. Sometimes it's easier to forgive others than to forgive ourselves. Sometimes we've done things uh, that we really don't like, that we're embarrassed to admit, that we feel shame about, that we have a lot of guilt over and a lot of self-condemnation. And if this is the case, which everybody bumps into this at some point, how do we forgive ourselves? So let's be clear, forgiving self isn't condoning what we did in the past or giving ourselves a free pass or saying, oh, it was okay that I did that. It's not sweeping under the rug or sugarcoating it in any way. We've got to put it on the table and acknowledge completely, this is what happened, this is what I did. The good, the bad, and the ugly, whatever it is, let's just put it, sometimes I say, let's put it on the truth table. Let's just acknowledge it. There it is. And then once we've acknowledged what it is, then we can begin processing it and letting it go. We don't want it to define us. Sometimes it seems like we define ourselves by our biggest mistakes, our blackest moments, our most deviant choices, and as if, oh no, this means I'm a horrible person. This shows the most truth about me. I did this, and this means I'm despicable. This means I'm worthless. This means I'm disgusting, or something like that. This means I'm a pervert. This means I can't be trusted. We come to all kinds of conclusions about ourselves as if this is the ultimate event to define us. And it's not. Now again, we're not sugarcoating it. It is what happened, and it is the truth of what we did. It's the truth of where we were on our life journey. It was the truth of our understanding at that point. It was the truth of our weaknesses at that point. But it's not the truth of who we are. It is not the truth of what our potential is. It's just the truth of what happened and where we were. And it's meant to teach us something. It's meant to help us learn and grow and progress in some way. And how we respond to this can really change the direction of our life. So let me just use a very simplistic example. I want to define appropriate guilt versus shame or unhealthy guilt. So let's just say that I do something unwise. Okay, I've done some unwise things in my life, but I'm going to actually illustrate one that I never did. Actually, maybe I'll use one that I did do. Okay, this is one that I did. Okay. In the third grade, I cheated on a spelling test. Not good. That's lying. That's being dishonest. I premeditated. Okay. We taken a few spelling tests, and I thought, I want to get 100% on the spelling test. And I thought I connived a way to cheat and get away with it. So I would get 100% on the spelling test. Woohoo! Okay, but I got caught. I wasn't as clever as I thought I was. The teacher caught me, and the teacher announced to the class Artie was cheating on his spelling test, and I was humiliated. Now the teacher was actually, this was the kind thing for the teacher to do. Okay, she wasn't over the top mean or anything like that. She just told the truth. Artie was cheating on his spelling test, and I got a 0. That's a 0. Don't it? On that spelling test. Okay, and I remember putting my head down on my desk and just crying. Okay, so when we've done something wrong, and this is kind of simplistic in a way, this illustration of the principle, I could take two different paths. I could say, man, I am such a loser. I guess I'm a scoundrel. I'm a rat. I can't be trusted. I'm a bad guy. I'm a cheater. I'm a liar. And I could continue on a path of being dishonest in different areas of my life. I might try to, I got caught this time, but I got to figure this out. I'm going to try again. I could go that path. Okay. Or I could go on a path of continuing to beat myself up over this. And I could, for years, just say, man, I cannot believe I cheated on that third grade spelling test. I could feel bad about it endlessly. What's wrong with me? How could I do something so terrible? How could I be such a fool? Wow, I'm such an idiot. And it could take me down a negative path that in a way that's a little counterintuitive might lead me to repeat similar mistakes. I was such a stupid liar. Oh, and then I find myself lying again. And it actually almost can become addictive in a way to keep repeating mistakes that we don't even like or want to repeat. But it happens all the time in different deviant behaviors where people repeat the same mistakes over and over again, and they constantly beat themselves up for having done it, which leads them to focus on the mistake, and they end up doing it again because that's what they're focusing on. And it doesn't lead to anything good. It just leads to a negative pattern in life. Or we can take what happened and we can allow our guilty conscience, our embarrassment, or whatever it was that happened as fuel, motivation to do better. As an incentive to say, okay, I am going to change. I'm not going to do this one anymore. I can step up my game and be better than that. And thankfully, that was what I did at this point. And I don't, I was a third grader. It's not like I was doing a deep meditation on this. I just remember walking home from school that day and thinking to myself, I am never doing that again. I am never going to be dishonest again. I never want to experience that again. And so I can't say I've been flawless, but I've done my best to be an honest person. Now, I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal. I'm illustrating the principle, okay? Are we using the event as fuel to be a better person, or are we allowing the event to drag us down? And if we haven't forgiven ourselves for whatever it was, then in some way it's taking us in a less than optimal direction. It's taking us in a downward direction. We need to completely forgive ourselves. And of course, as a third grader, I didn't say, I have completely forgiven myself. I did, but I didn't know that I did. I wasn't cognizant of everything that was happening as a third grader. But I do know that I forgave myself and said, no, I am going to be this better person. And I didn't harbor guilt over that for a long period of time. So if you still are hanging on to some guilt, some shame, some embarrassment, some self-loathing, whatever that might be, don't beat yourself up over that, okay? Don't beat yourself up for beating yourself up. Just pause for a moment. I want to take you through an exercise. This is a visualization. I'm going to have you close your eyes and you are going to picture in your mind's eye a scenario that I describe, but you will allow the details to be filled in your mind's eye. I'm not going to give you the details. I want you to see how it shows up, because there's no exact right or wrong. This is going to be a template and we'll see how it goes. At one point in this visualization, I'm going to mention God or Christ. Now, I don't know your belief system. Some people, those words are a turnoff. Think of the most loving, divine being that you can imagine, the most compassionate, benevolent, divine being that has your best interest in mind. When I say God or Christ, that's the type of being that I'm referring to. I'm not referring to, well, there could be countless interpretations of God, okay? So it's not actually an effective word of describing the being that I'm referring to. I'm referring to the most kindly, loving, benevolent, divine being you can imagine. So you can interpret that as we get to that point of the exercise. For now, I want you to close your eyes and vividly imagine you have been in a hole, a pit of some kind. And in this pit was something that got you dirty. And this will represent, the dirtiness of it will represent your shame or your self-loathing or whatever negative emotion you feel toward yourself because you haven't forgiven yourself. Okay? Now, forgiving is not condoning. Forgiving is not sugarcoating. Forgiving is simply letting go of being the judge. And we're in this exercise, I want to help you let go of judging yourself, because we don't even see ourselves clearly enough to judge ourselves. And that doesn't mean we're shirking responsibility. You're still responsible for your choices. You're 100% responsible for your choices, but let go of judging yourself, because at the time you responded to your lens on life, which is from your life experience, and none of us see life clearly, none of us see ourselves clearly. And so we just need to turn judgment over to God, even of ourselves, while still accepting responsibility for whatever it was that we did. So you're in a pit. Vividly see yourself in this pit. I don't know how deep the pit is. It might be 100 feet deep. It might be 6 feet deep. It might be 3 feet deep. I don't know how deep it is. I don't know how hard it is to get out of this pit. And I don't know what was in this pit. Was there tar in this pit? Was there mud in this pit? Was there manure in this pit? Was there snakes in this pit? I don't know. See what shows up. If there's a pit that represents where you were when you made this deviant choice, whatever it was that you did that you haven't forgiven yourself for, what does it look like down there? And I want you to see yourself trying to climb out. Can you climb out? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I've done this with different people, and some people say, there's no way I'm getting out of this pit. It's too deep, it's too steep, it's impossible for me to get out of this. I am stuck in here. I'll always be stuck in this quagmire. Maybe it's quicksand, I don't know. Whatever it is. So I'm going to go first from the vantage point that you haven't been able to get out. Okay? So I want you to imagine that Christ comes to the edge of the pit and he's looking down at you stuck in the pit. If you need to pause the video and see how this shows up in your mind's eye, pause the video at any point if you need to. But keep your eyes closed as much as possible too. If Christ shows up at the edge of this pit and he's going to throw you down something, a rope, a ladder, a life preserver, I don't know. He's going to throw you down something to help you get out of the pit. Can you take it? And can you let him help you out of the pit? And take whatever amount of time it takes to get out of the pit with Christ's help. Now that you are out of the pit, whether you got out of the pit on your own or whether you needed Christ's help to get out of the pit, you're still dirty, or the effects of the pit are still on you. Maybe you're cut and scratched. Maybe you're poisoned because of the snakes in the pit, or maybe you're filthy with manure or tar or something, or maybe you just see a little bit of dirt on your cheeks and your hands are kind of messed up. Maybe your hands are dirty and you're like, I just can't get my hands clean. I don't know. See how it shows up in your mind's eye. What does the dirtiness of the pit look like, or the effects of the pit look like on you? And see what that looks like. There's no right or wrong there. Now imagine, if you haven't brought Christ into the scene yet, bring Christ into the scene, and he's just inviting you to come to him. And whatever the effects of the pit are, he wants to heal you and cleanse you. Can you see yourself going to Christ? And as you go to Christ, apologize. Ask him to forgive you. And can he cleanse you? As he's cleansing you, whatever that looks like, whether he's got a rag, whether he's giving you a new set of clothes, whether he's hosing you down, whatever it is, focus on letting go of condemnation towards yourself. He is being merciful to you, you be merciful to you. Just focus on the phrase, I forgive myself. I'm letting go of judging and condemning myself for all I said and did, all I didn't say and didn't do in this deviant act that I feel guilt and shame and regret over. I'm turning judgment over to Christ, or over to God, or over to the divine. And I am accepting grace and mercy and the possibility that I can learn from this mistake, from this scenario. I can gain wisdom and use that wisdom to be better, to be more loving, to be more compassionate, to be kinder, to be more patient, to be more generous, to be more trustworthy, to be a better version of me. The wisdom I've gained from this negative experience can help me be far better than I was before. So focus on those ideas as Christ is healing you, and he's forgiving you. He is cleansing you and healing you. And I want you to get to a point where you see yourself clean and whole, somehow with the help of Christ. And when you get to that point, just imagine he gives you a big bear hug. He loves you. He loves you deeply. He cherishes you. He wants you to get up and be the good person you're meant to be. Your past does not define you. These mistakes and regrettable choices of the past are not meant to label you. They're meant to give you experience. And through grace and mercy, you can get up and try again and work at being a better and better version of the you that you're meant to be. I hope this exercise is helpful. Please forgive yourself. Please let go of shame and use whatever it was that happened in your life in the past as fuel to be, again, whatever that is, that better version of you. God bless you.